What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back today with more Danmachi. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking me about the final trial, and I know a lot of you out there probably have some really solid units from the anniversary, and that's great. But for those of you that are new, or maybe weren't as lucky on the anniversary or whatever, I think I have a team here that will be able to manage the situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to clear this. Now, our goal is a B clear. That's all we care about. We don't need an S clear. We don't need anything like that. And I'll go unit by unit as we go in here. But the main thing you need to know about this team setup is Melia. Melia is a sack. We're going to use her for a debuff. And then she's leaving. Same for Galamus. We're using him for his defensive buff. And then he's out of the game. Now, that means Haruhime is pretty much here for healing. Finn is kind of here. In fact, I probably should swap Melia and Haruhime, because then Lazar will do a tiny bit more damage. Haruhime's here for her healing and her buff replication and all that stuff. Finn is here kind of as our DPS, and Bell holds a little secret that's basically going to make turn 1 an absolute breeze. Turn 1's like the hardest thing in the history. But if you have this Bell, if you even only have like +1, +2 of him, he'll be fine. He does something really, really, really awesome. Now, the assist strategy here is really strange, but follow me. Number 1, Ali. Now, here's the deal. If you have Ali max limit broken, you're in good shape. You actually don't need one of the assists I'm going to show you in a minute. But if you're like me, if you don't have Ali max limit broken, and you don't have the Finn unit, so long as you have her in her current condition, as long as you have her, level 60 or better, she could do what she needs to do, and that's that 22% SA gauge charge. Hopefully, you guys have at least one of this unit. Now, in regards to that, I am going to run a lot of units from the anniversary. Case in point, this Haruhime. I underestimated this Haruhime quite a bit. I'm sorry, she's not from the anniversary, she's from the anime. My apologies on that. The anime Haruhime is really good. Foe's strength and magic down 17%. I actually have a unit that's slightly better, but for this particular event, one thing that she does that's really good is removing physical resistance debuffs. For this unit, that skill right there, even though there's other units that do better strength and magic, that right there becomes one of the most critical assets to this unit. So that is super, super, super important. So you got to have this Haruhime to even pull this off. If you don't, you can run another adventure that does that. You got to remove that physical resistance debuff, though, or you're going to croak. Normally, when I run these teams, I run a lot of max limit broken assists. And you guys have, raked me over the coals. I don't have that unit. I don't have that unit. I'm going to show you today, you probably don't need to maximum break all these just to get the win. So that's kind of our big challenge today. I always say maximum broken assists are worth so much more than maximum broken adventures, but this is a slightly different challenge for me because a lot of these guys, +1, +2, +4, the only maximum broken unit is that really old Casino Seer. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and start with come on, pop up. There we go. Start with Argonaut here. Level 76, +4. Not quite max limit broken. I actually have the stuff to limit break him. But for the sake of this video, I don't want to. I want to run him at +4 and show you guys it's completely possible to make this happen. Now, Light and Thunder resistance down 15%. That's going to basically make sure that our light units do a little bit more damage. Self-penetration rate +20%. 3 instant effects when attacked. Low, light, physical attack, strength, and magic down 40%. That's a good skill, but because of Melee, it's not going to be the most important skill. But it's here. If we need it, if worse comes to worse, he's a good unit to have for that, but Melee is going to do so much more. Now, Casino Seer. If you guys have the Haruhime from last year's event, the one that does the 111%, great. But I'm running Seer here because Seer is a non-time limited unit. She's been in the game for a really long time. She's easy enough to come by. The main thing that she does here is SA gauge charge increase by 100%. Like I said, though, if you have the Eyes assist, I think I said Haruhime. If you have the Eyes Assist that does 111%, great, run her, she's way better. But I'm running a unit here that's not time limited because I want to run units that most people will be able to obtain if they started the game within 2022. Okay, then we come to Galamus. Now, Galamus is a sack, so he's really only here for his one skill. Hephaestus, on the other hand, she's level 60, which puts her at a major disadvantage. Any unit that's at this level of disadvantage, I'm going to swap out. I want to make sure that my +1s and level 60s all get +0, all get swapped out, so the slightly stronger assists can be put on other units. That said, physical resist +12%. There are better physical resists out there, and I would highly recommend running them if at all possible. But I needed a unit that was easy to obtain and could be obtained with 2 or 3 star tickets. So at level 60, she's going to do more than enough for us. Finally, we come to Ryu. Okay, now this Ryu is the anime unit. If she ever pops up, there we go. Okay, Desperate Determination Ryu. She's one of the more recent ones that dropped. She does physical resist down 17%, fire attack damage plus 17%. So that's basically going to give Belle the ability to do a little bit more damage. So we kind of like debuffed Finn, buffed Belle. You could do it the other way around, but I really just found that she was a more recent unit that we had that's going to help out. Now, the big thing to understand about this, your goal isn't to produce damage here. Your goal is to survive. We're literally playing a survival game at this point. So we're not trying to escalate this. We're not trying to bash through this as quickly as possible. We're simply trying to survive and make do. It's that easy. Now, the adventurers, we'll see what they do here in a moment, so hopefully this will make a lot of sense. You'll see that Ali is getting swapped out. That's because her stats don't really help us out a huge amount. I could, in theory, put her in Haruhime, but I do want Haruhime's extra actions, so I got to keep Haruhime in play. Okay? And it is worth noting that stats make a huge difference here. Now, Argonaut's got some good stats. Okay? He's got a really high physical stat, a really high HP stat. Those will get better if I level him up, but it is what it is. Because he's +4, I'm going to put him on my max limit Broken Finn. Just like Haruhime, because she's +1, I'm going to put her on my max limit Broken Haruhime. That way the MLB'd adventurers are mixed up with some assists that might be a little weaker. Because Belle is only +3 as an adventurer and only 3-star ascension, he's at a bit of a disadvantage. So I want a unit on him, case in point, Seer, who's going to be max limit Broken and who's going to have slightly better stats. So, let's jump in, let's see what happens here. So basically, if you to kind of sum that up again, you're going to need to make sure the lower level assists are on the higher level adventures to kind of, level the playing field, so to speak. But let's jump in and let's talk about this. Okay, auto battle is off. That's good news. And I do want icons on for this. So we're going to turn those on. Turn 1, pardon me for a moment. Fall allergies kicking in. At completely the wrong time, too. Trying to record a video here. Allergies, go away. So, turn 1 is vitally important to pay close attention here. Now, Haruhime's skill 1 does more than just SI gauge charging. Endurance, agility, dex, physical resist plus 40%. It's a big physical resist stat, and that's going to help us out big time in this early portion of the fight. Also does HP regen for 3 turns, which is going to help out drastically, so we need her skill 1. Melia, I said we're going to swap her out. We're going to do her skill 2, Strength and Magic down 45%. Really the only thing she cares about here is the strength stat. Reducing his strength stat is going to be super important. We got to get that down, or we're just simply not going to make it. Now, if you don't have Melia, use somebody else. Just basically use the highest strength debuffer that you've got, and you'll be fine. But we're going to use a swap anklet, and on turn 2, she's going to leave, and then in will come Galamus. If you don't have the swap anklet, there's other ways to handle this. You can use the War Princess's ear cuff, and make sure she's got low enough HP that she will croak before the end of the turn. Put a really low-level assist on her. Make sure that that's in place so she'll croak before the end of the turn. But if you don't have the swap anklets, you can... Pardon me. You can absolutely manufacture a situation where she'll die before the end of turn 1. There's plenty of ways to do that. But for now, I'm using the swamp anklet to make this very nice and neat. Finn. Now, Finn's got a great strategy here. His skill 3 does a KO save. And that basically means that anytime we have more than 10% HP, the beginning or the end of a turn, we keep a KO saving blow. In other words, we can survive one killing attack so long as before at the beginning or the end of the turn, we have more than 10% HP. So, super important. And because it's a slow attack, we need to make sure we apply it now. That way it's available for us in turn 2. What do we do though? Turn 1 is a crazy hit. Turn 1 is a wildly insane hit. Hurts a lot and is basically designed to one-shot your team. So you need to go ahead and remove that altogether. It's gotta go. You gotta get rid of that attack. Well, that's where this bell comes into play. And I told you guys to get at least one of this bell because the skill 3 right here. Status buff plus 3 turns though, 30% HP heal and nullify 1 physical attack. He does 1 attack on this turn, and it is a wildly large attack, and everybody's going to take 0 damage for it. Check this out. Boom. Had I not used Bell there, we would not have made it to turn 2. Very simply put. Now, Dex is down 45%. Strength and Magic are both down 45%. We now have an agility buff, and we gotta get rid of that agility buff if at all possible. But more than that, if we go over here to our units, I don't think we've removed it yet. Let's see. Actually, it looks like it already has been removed. So a physical resistance of debuff of 45% or 40%, I'm sorry, is going to be applied to everybody on your team. Now, it looks like it's already been removed. That's good news. I believe that's the first thing he does with that kind of feint attack there at the beginning. So, if you have that in play, that's what Haruhime removes, and that's super important. You got to get rid of that. Other than that, notice the KO save here. Anytime we drop below 10% HP, that's going to be gone. So long as it's, I believe, at the end. I believe it has to be at the end of a turn or at the beginning of a turn that you lose that. But, so you could lose it with like poison or something like that. But, nevertheless, we're good to go. So Haruhime is going to come in and do her skill 2. That's going to replicate buffs, and that's just basically to make sure that everything stays in play. Gallimimus, skill 3. We've got all in single target down 40%, so it's going to allow us to do a little bit more damage. Stun resist, I don't believe this thing stuns. I believe it mostly debuffs. But, so we've got then... Where are we? I lost it. Anyway. Gallimimus is still skill 3 is going to help us produce a little bit more damage. It's super important to this run, and you basically just have to make sure that that's in place. So Gallimimus, skill 3. If you don't have Gallimimus, use somebody else that does that debuff, but it just basically is going to allow us, when we finally get into producing a little bit of damage, it's going to help us produce it a little bit better. Finn. Finn's already applied his skill 3. Okay. We have the KO saving blow, so we're going to go ahead and just buff with him. So we're going to go ahead and do his skill 2 to get a big buff out. Okay? Bell, same deal. We're going to use his skill 1. Skill 1? Yeah. We're going to use his skill 1 to get Bell's buff out, because Bell already did his skill 3 and saved us last turn. So here we go. Now, that is not the only time we're going to use Bell's skill 3. Bell's skill 3 will come in handy next turn. But for now, this is kind of where we stand. Alright, so, Gallimimus left, buffs, debuffs, everything are in play. Now, Lazar's kind of out in the cold. He doesn't really have a lot of the stuff he needs to survive the SA on next turn, because next turn, our opponent will SA. So we've got to basically use this turn to make sure that he is buffed up. But, here's the deal. Lazar also does a buff here. Physical resistance and magic resistance plus 60% to all allies. Super important. That is going to make sure that everybody in the team has an even better strength and magic buff than they do now, or strength and magic resistance buff than they do now. So very super important. Lazar, gonna SA in this turn. And here's the deal. when I showed you guys earlier in the match that we had Ali on the team at 22% with her buff, you know, she's not max limit broken. If she's max limit broken, you actually don't need to run the Casino Seer or the eyes, 111% eyes. You can just run Ali, or if you have Finn, like you know I recommended last year, you could just run Finn, and you'll be fine with this. But because I have Ali at 22%, I needed that little extra boost. That is the big thing that Casino Seer, or even at that eyes unit, that's the big thing they do. So if you don't have Casino Seer, if you don't have eyes, and Ali is not max limit broken, or you don't have Finn, you're in a world of hurt. But because you got to get this SA on this turn. It is super, super duper important. So, there we go. This is turn 3. And turn 3 is going to be scary a little bit. Now, with Haruhime, we're going to go ahead and do her skill 1 again. That basically ensures that everybody basically gets rebuffed with everything she's got, plus her HP heal and the SA gauge charging. Everything will be back in play. Actually, let's see. I don't think anything's falling off, so I think we'll actually be fine. So we'll go ahead and do that this turn. Finn. Finn will go ahead and do one more time. The KO saving blow, and that will help him out distinctly and immensely. All right. Now, comes to Bell. Bell at this point just kind of becomes a DPS. So we're going to do his skill 2. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do his skill 3 one more time just to make sure that we don't take excess damage, because there is an attack on this turn that is going to produce an insane amount of damage. And we've got to make sure that we get past that. So, Bell skill 3, Haruhime skill 1, Lazar SA, and Finn skill 3 again. This is all really just to protect Lazar. Because, I mean, everybody else pretty much has protections here. So Lazar is going to kind of make sure this happens. Now, there's a huge attack. That first attack on this turn can take up to half your damage, or half your health. So, basically, Bell nullifying that makes sure that we basically walk into turn 4 alive. Turn 4 is 2 AoE attacks, and then at the end of it, a big SA. So we need to make sure our buffs, debuffs, everything like that are in play. Now, I would love to use the death saving throw one more time from from Finn. So I've got to focus a little bit on HP healing. So let's see. We got to heal here. No, I think I said HP healing. I meant MP healing. So let's see what we've got here with Lazar. So with Lazar, I'm actually going to go ahead and do his skill 2 buff on this turn. Haruhime, I'm going to do skill 2 again with Megiri, just to make sure that all the buffs stay in play. Now, buffs will be removed, and they'll get removed. Let's see. I got my handy-dandy little cheat sheet over here. Buffs will be removed on turn 5. So actually, we don't need to worry about that too much. Let's see. I'm sorry, debuffs will be removed. So we actually don't need to worry about the replication of debuffs on this turn, so I'm going to use Haruhime's skill 3 to go ahead and make sure we have some more MP. That's going to focus on MP healing. Buffs will actually get removed. Let's see. Buffs get removed. Buffs don't get removed, according to this. So actually, buffs don't get removed. It's only debuffs that get removed. So we're good there. And because Bell's skill 3 does buff replication, I think we'll be fine. So with Bell, we're going to go ahead and do his skill 2, get some extra attack power out. With Finn, we're going to go ahead and do his skill 2, skill 1, get some extra attack power out, and this is SA gauge charge, buff effect plus ultra rate. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and get a really good attack here in. Lazar, skill 2, and Haruhime skill 3 to do a little bit of MP restoration. Now, we need to make sure our buffs are in play, and I think our buffs are all still really good. Lazar doesn't have as many, but I think he's still going to be fine. And most of those are attack buffs anyway, which, like I said at the beginning of this, attack buffs are what they are. All right, here's the SA. Now, you can pretty much gauge that every 4 turns, the end of every 4th turn, you're going to get SA'd. So you need to be prepared for that. But with all the buffs and everything we have in play, we didn't take too much damage there. we're in good shape. So, what do we need to do here? Well, we've got to re-debuff. We got to make sure debuffs are put back on our opponent. So, let's see. Haruhime doesn't have any debuffs. Let's see. HP heal and HP regen. I believe the HP regen and heal, they actually go off this turn, so we can go ahead and reapply those next turn. That means I can actually do another turn of all of this. Lazar. Let's see here. He'll do Strength of Magic down 40%. That's better. It's not 45%, but it is still better than nothing. So we'll go ahead and do skill 3 with Lazar. Finn, we don't have his big attack or anything like that, but we do have some debuffs and all that get applied here. So we'll just go ahead and do his skill 1, rebuff everything, reapply the debuffs, and be good. Let's see. Turn 5 is 2 AoEs. It says half of unit's HP. So that's a middle attack. So that, we'll go ahead and do skill 3 with Bell and just see if we can nullify some of that damage. So it does an HP heal, nullifies some of this damage. So let's see what we do here with skill 3 with Bell and kind of survive this. So we got skill 3, skill 3. Skill 2, though, next time that comes up, we're going to do a skill 3 and skill 3. Okay, and obviously at this point I'm trying to save up for a quad SA. Oof, that was a big hit, but we got some good healing out here, and we've got a lot of buffs and debuffs, and periodically using skill 3 with Bell is going to keep all those buffs in place. So we can check the buffs, but I think we'll be good. And that HP regen came into play here. So no HP regen, but we do have heal up to 40%. So we actually might not need the HP regen. We could probably just keep doing her... Yeah, we can honestly probably just keep doing her skill 2 and skill 3. So light units, all unit resistance. Let's see, strength and magic are 1 turn, so we got to do that again. That's fine. And we can actually do skill 3. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to go ahead and do his skill 1 again, just to kind of play with this a little bit. So I'm going to do Megiri, because we need to make sure that buffs and debuffs get replicated a little bit. So you got to do Haruhime's skill 2 here. I'd love to get her skill 3 out, get a little bit more MP restore, but I think it's going to be better to do it this way. So Finn skill 1, and Bell skill... I'll do Bell's skill 1 this turn. It does an MP heal with extra action, so I think that's going to be worth, and it does a physical resistance debuff, which will help us do a little bit more damage. So here we go. And the good news is we're just not we're in the territory now where I don't think we have a huge amount to worry about, so long as we pay attention. We've got to pay attention to what the opponent's doing. So, debuffs do need to be reapplied a little bit. We got to buff those up a little bit more. All unit resistance is up, so AoE attacks just really aren't going to do a huge amount of damage. That's why I say this is a long haul match. You're going to go a long time here. Haruhime, we're not going to do her SA. We're going to go ahead and do her skill 2 because we need debuffs to be replicated. I've got to reapply Finn's skill 3 next turn, so MP is going to be a concern. So we're going to... But extra action's actually going to give us some MP. We've got 2 turns on that. I think I'm going to do skill 3 here. Now, I would love to replicate. You know what? I'm not going to live on the edge. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I would rather Finn run out of MP in this situation than our opponent run out of the debuffs. Now, I don't believe debuffs get wiped. I think the debuffs stay. Yeah, the debuffs stay for a minute. Okay. And yeah, so turn 9 becomes a problem, but we'll get to turn 9 in a moment. So debuff's going to stay in play. And we'll continue with MP heal there. And we'll get some MP heal with Bell. We can do his big attack because he's going to get that anyway. And yeah, that on... Well, we need to apply this before we run out, so we'll go ahead and do it now. Skill 3, let's go. Remember, skill 3 is a death saving throw. It's a big portion of this team, so we basically need to make sure all those are in play. Because we're not going to take a huge amount of damage, yeah, we got a full heal there. That's great, great, great news. So we need to keep track of that heal, keep track of our HP regen. Now, turn 8 is the scary part. We have another big SA at the end of this, and we got some big buffs next turn. So I need to make sure that our debuffs are once again staying in play. So, debuffs are good a little bit more. We'll go ahead and continue. Yep, we don't have anything to do there, so let's see, Strength and Magic down. And Strength and Magic are still down, so Megiri's going to make sure that all those stay where they need to be. This is going to give us MP heal. Finn's already got MP heal. I'm sorry, Finn? Bell's got MP heal with his extra action, so his extra action is good for 3 turns, so we're good there. So we'll do his skill 2 there. Finn already did his skill 2, so we'll go ahead and do skill 3. I meant to get the death saving throw, so everyone should have 1 avoid KO there, so we're good there. So we'll do a skill 1 here. And if you haven't noticed, I've not beaten this yet, so I am kind of learning a little bit while we play. Ooh, that's a big hit. Haruhime, we need a counter heal. There we go. Perfect. We didn't have HP regen, and so I probably needed to reapply that with Haru, but that's okay. I think we've got this. Bell's the only one I'm truly worried about here. Ooh, big hits. Big hits. So, if I do skill 1 with Haruhime, we'll get HP regen for 3 turns. That's good. We're going to need that HP regen. Remember, that applies at the end of this. Plus, we get an HP heal, and it's a fast skill. That's good news. Our debuffs are still in play, but here's the problem. That strength 50% is going to be killer. Absolutely killer. And everyone has physical resist down 40%, which means we take that much more damage every turn until that wears out. So we've got to play a big defensive game here. Now, we have a ton of MP here with Finn, and we used up a lot of our death saving throws, so we're going to do skill 3 again to make sure death saving throws stay in play. I'm a little worried about this turn, but with Lazar's heal here, he'll do heal 40%. I think we already actually have that, so I don't think that's going to be... Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Let's see. So heal should already... Yeah, heal 40% up is already in play. So actually, we'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. We can actually go back and we got to remove... Let's see... Let's see, midnight magic attack, it's an AoE that we'll do single target with the 10% MP cure. Now, once again, I'm going to do a null 1 physical attack with Bell. Maybe that'll give us time to get back in here and do some healing. I'm a little worried about this turn. I do feel like this is the turn where we might actually be in a bit of hurt. Let's see, do we have... So we've got to get rid of that strength buff. So we have anything that will get rid of that strength buff. Let's see, endurance, agility, dex, and ailment resist. Don't see anything there, so we're going to go back and do her heal. Remove strength and magic buffs, so we will need that. So we've got to do his SA there, which then Finn... Foe singular, self, let's see, light attack damage... Let's see, physical resist down 60%, so that'll be good. So actually, we're going to do that. Now, Bell, I think, is he's single target here with self-strength buff. So I'm actually going to do a triple SA in this turn. But here's the deal. Before we do that with Bell, I think actually doing his null will be better, and doing Haruhime's SA will be better. Let's see. Ultra HP heal for all allies. Yeah, we're going to do Haruhime's to get a little healing out. And then we'll do some of those effective buffs, and then with Belle, we'll do this to make sure that we get that big status buff. So this should hopefully work. Fingers crossed. Remember, he's got a big strength buff. We have a physical resistance debuff. We got to get rid of as much of this as humanly possible. I don't think we have anybody at this juncture that will remove the physical resistance debuffs. I'm not worried about the damage. What I'm worried about is going into this with full health. Yeah. See, the damage really wasn't a factor here. The damage really wasn't a thing. Okay? That attack did do a ton of damage, but we're actually good. So we did that was the right move. Doing that triple SA with the nullification helped out immensely. Now, debuffs need to be re-replicated, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. Lazar's good there, so we're going to go ahead and do MP heal. We're going to do this single target, and we'll do... I think I said Bell was AoE, and he's all single target. I forgot that for a moment. We'll do that. So we're on turn 10. Turn 10, we'll do 2 AoE attacks with half your unit's HP again. So, you know what? Why not? We'll go ahead and use Bell's nullification just to kind of, diffuse that a little bit. So it looks like that actually happens turn 10 and 11. Ooh, come on. Oh. Man. So here's the thing. I see the big problem I had here. So when it comes to the prior run, we made some early mistakes, and we're going to correct those now. The biggest mistake being I was kind of anticipating a long game, and I realized we only got 20 turns. And with the prior run, we ran out of basically ran out of gusto pretty quickly, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do Haruhime's SA on turn 5. And that way, with her SA out of the way, then we're going to produce 100% strength damage on everybody early on in the match. Now remember, Haruhime gets 100% magic damage, but with the nullification, I don't think she ever actually produces. With her, she's mostly here just kind of pretty much for the buff replication. Buff replication and with Megiri, and Sukuna for the HP regen. So as soon as we see the HP regen run out, we can go ahead and rebuff that. So basically, other than that, everything is exactly the same. I think I got overzealous and tried to use her as an attacker, but as you note there, it is all of her attacks are pretty much nullified, so it really doesn't matter. So we're going to do Megiri again on turn 7. I will need to make sure that the KO save is still in play, especially on Bell. Bell is the biggest one I'm worried about. Do we have 1 turn KO save? We do. So, once again, as you saw before, he is going to SA on turn 8. So we need to make sure that we basically survive turn 8. And we're more or less going to survive with like nothing left. He's going to wipe us completely out, and literally just that KO save that is going to pull us out of the fire. That is literally the only thing that's going to keep us from dying. So we're really just playing the long game here. We're going to do Megiri one more time with Haruhime. Everybody else is kind of doing what they do. Same thing we've done up to this point. And turn 9 is going to be the turning point. It's going to be where we go from a defensive fight to an offensive fight. We're going to have 11 turns of straight offense. There will be a little bit of defense in there, but it's going to be mostly offense. Okay? So, as stated before, almost identical to what you guys saw prior. The exception being, we're not going to do Lazar's SA. Lazar's SA is redundant. The whole reason for Lazar's SA was to get rid of the strength buff, but I completely forgot. I'm going to go ahead and do Lazar's skill 1 here, and we're going to keep doing Sukuna to make sure Bell gets his heal. But Bell removes all status buffs, so not only will the strength buff be gone, but also the all units defensive buff. So everything's going to be gone, and Bell hits a wee bit harder than Lazar does. So see, hopefully go to 2 mil. 1.9, that's not bad. Bell, I'm hoping for like a 1.7, 1.8. We got a 2.0. Very nice. Very nice. So, Bell putting in work. Lazar struggled for a 900k. So, Bell already showing his absolute worth here. The downside is we don't have the death saving throw, and Bell is going to be threatened big time going forward. So, we're going to go ahead and do... we've got Sakuna here. I'm going to go ahead and do Magiri to make sure that everything... Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, we've got the KO save, so I'm going to do Magiri one more time. Let's see. 3 turns for null magic, so there's really no point in doing her big single target. So we'll do buff replication one more time. She's actually going to get a pretty... You know what? Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do Sakuna for the heal. Because what's going to happen on this turn is your opponent's going to hit twice with an AoE attack. The second time he hits, he's going to take half the damage. He's going to take half your health, period. There's no real way to nullify that. So, after that, there's 2 more AoE hits. So, if Haruhime doesn't get a counter heal just right, Bell could be in a world of hurt. Now, one thing I didn't mention here, I've done a slight change on Bell. Bell's now using the Hakuda weapon. He was using the Hesti Knight before. He's now using the brand new weapon that we just got for Season 4 of the anime. It has been fully upgraded, fully ascended, and it is running double 15% critical rate with 15% dex, or I'm sorry, 30% dex and 30% strength. So, or 30 strength, not 30% strength, but 30 strength. So, that is the weapon we're using going forward. Plus, I've given him 1 extra purple star. The problem being, at 3 purple stars, he was not surviving this. I could never get him to survive turn 10. With 4 purple stars, he survives it most of the time. I will emphasize most of the time. So if you want to guarantee he's going to survive, go ahead and take him up to all 6 purple stars. For me, personally, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go that far. So I've got 4 purple stars. He will probably survive. But just to make sure, we are going to go ahead and do skill 3 with Finn. That's going to give Bell a death saving throw. We're doing Sakuna with Haruhime. That's going to be a heal. And then other than that, we're just going to go ahead and do our attack phases. Why is Bell not doing his attack that nullifies a physical attack? And the honest answer is simply because it doesn't make a huge difference here. Both of those attacks take away half health, and with Haruhime and her counter heals, we should be fine, so I'm not terribly worried about it. Now, I could use it here on turn 11. In fact, I will, because turn 11, he does 1 AoE that is half health. So if I can get rid of that, that means we can focus on damage for the rest of the turn. In fact, because it does 2 more AoEs, or does, I'm sorry, 3 AoEs after that. So if we do this, then we just have the 3 AoEs to worry about. So I'm going to go ahead and do Assault stance just to get a little bit more out here. I could do Magiri with Haruhime and get our debuffs replicated one more time. We're not going to lose those debuffs now. That, just playing it a little bit safe. Other than that, skill 1 with... let's see. Yeah, 3 turns left on Tracks of Courage, so we're good there. Flash Leap... has 2 turns left, so yeah. I could do basically my big single target attack with both Lazar and Finn. So, good news. Haruhime skill 2, Lazar and Finn are each skill 1, and Bell is skill 3. And from this point going forward, we're 100% offense. We are absolutely going as deep in offense as humanly possible. That big single target hit that hit Bell. That hurt, but we're good. Had I taken that extra AoE, we probably would not have survived that. So, I'm going to do Bell's skill 2. We're going to go ahead. I believe Flash Leap is running out. It is. So, I'm going to go ahead and have to rebuff Flash Leap. Next turn, we should be getting our double SA, so we'll be fine there. Haruhime is going to go back to doing Magiri, just to make sure that we're all good on that one. Let's go in. Because once again, I could do her main attack, but the problem is if I do that attack, it's just kind of a waste of turn. I'd rather replicate the debuffs and make sure that all those stay in play. Okay? Double SA. Now, we used Lazar before. I'm going to go back to skill 1 with Lazar, and with Bell, I'm going to set him to do his SA. Because remember, from this point forward, Finn and Bell are pretty much our DPSs. Okay, Megiri once again, just because magic attack is nullified, so I don't really necessarily need it. In fact, I could periodically sprinkle in Sakuna to make sure the HP regen is good, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Sakuna on this turn. Let's see, do we have anything this turn one that runs out? 2 turns fast gauge charge. But that's on the extra actions, so no, I think we're good. So we'll do Sakuna, and let's see. No, we're good. We're absolutely fine. Boom. Boom. Okay. So now with us producing literally 1 million more damage every turn, we're pretty good to go here. Plus, we were turtling a little bit, and you'll see how quickly we've actually wiped out some of this, some of our opponent's health. So we're in a very, very, very good spot. Now, basically, from this point going forward, I don't believe he does any more essays. There's not, he's basically going to run this gambit of doing that big AoE attack and then just some little AoE attacks over and over and over again. So he's just going to become a broken record. So we're just going to focus on just damage production. Flash Leap's good for 3 turns, so we'll go ahead and rerun that. We just did an essay, so we're good on those. And then Megiri, of course, to make sure that we get everything in play. Let's go. And you'll start to see now the damage really coming on thick with our opponent. So whereas before we were playing a fully defensive game, come turn 9, we really switch courses, and now we're going full offense. So let's just keep hammering away. We'll do Sakuna once again just to make sure that we get some healing and all that stuff. We might need to rebuff that death saving throw. Okay. The HP regen's coming in clutch, so that's why we keep rebuffing Sakuna, because we need that HP regen. We'll get a double attack next turn. Okay, tracks of courage, good. Everything's good. So, big single target out of everybody. Let's see. Flash Leap is running out, so we're going to go ahead and rebuff Flash Leap. And Haruhime is going to do Megiri again. Actually, 3 turns left on that. I'm going to play it safe this turn. And I'm going to go ahead and do Sakuna just to get a little bit of healing and HP regen out. And I think after this we can just focus on Megiri. Well, actually, I think we do one more Megiri and then we just do Sakuna. I think that'll be the safe play. I think that is going to be our recipe for success. So we'll do big single with Finn, or I'm sorry, with Lazar, Finn and Bell once again doing a double, and we'll do Megiri this turn, just to kind of keep things lively, I guess. Want to keep all those debuffs in play. 2.6 mil, 2.4 mil, great. We're looking really good now. All right, Haruhime, you're not going to heal on this turn, but that's... Well, she's going to get all that. So let's go ahead and do Sakuna. I don't believe debuffs are in... Nope, debuffs cannot run out before the end of this. So we can spam Sakuna from this point going forward just to get our heals out. We could do our big single targets. And if we're lucky, super lucky, we might get one more SA. Let's take a look here. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, turn 19, so it looks like we will get one more. So we're going to do Sakuna again. We're going to go ahead and do the big single target attacks. Once again, we're not playing it safe now. We are going for the throat. Now, this is going to be a squeaker. We're going to be right up to turn 20. If I lose anybody here, I'm in a world of absolute hurt. Oh, we didn't quite get the double SA. But I think arguably Finn does the better SA, so we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do big single target attacks. And we're going to do Sukuna one more time. That is going to give her the heal. I think we are good. Let's see what happens, though. This is really, like, down to the wire, but it's kind of the team we designed. And we won! That is it! Guys, we got our win in. Fantastic! So, this team can do it. It's not going to get an S clear, but it will clear the event. Now we got to go back and do this within 2 turns, but absolutely fantastic. Doing this within 12 turns is going to be a bit tough, but we know this team can manage it. So maybe if we maximum break the team, I don't know, guys. I actually think this same team might be good for this, but there should be clear once again with a bunch of units that are not max limit broken. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments section down below. Like, comment, share. I will admit Lazar and Finn being max limit broken was a huge factor in this, but notice Bell being +3 really still produced damage. So if I had Bell at all 6 purple stars, we probably would have ended this a turn or 2 earlier. If you don't have Finn or Lazar maxed out, use some better assists. Notice my assists aren't great. So use some of your star bonds, use some of your prism bonds, do things accordingly. I talked about the team building before, but hopefully this helps some people out. Sorry it is so late in this. This was a really, really, really hard one to lock down. This one was super tough, but we nailed it. And good luck to you all. You got about 24 hours, so go get those rewards.